According to Young and the Restless spoilers, Ray Rosales, Jordi Villasuso, and Sharon Newman, Sharon case, might break up, and it could be his fault. Why? His suspicions have the potential to ruin their marriage. This has the potential to completely alter the CBS soap drama. Ray is currently back in Genoa City, and is already making fun of his wife. What comes next, then? After taking Chelsea Newman, Melissa Claire Egan, to visit her mother, Ray Rosales just got back. Ray spent a few weeks apart from Sharon Newman. Furthermore, there was little hoopla when he returned home. Ray wasn't back in town for 5 minutes before he started to wonder what his wife, Sharon, had been up to during his absence. Innocently, Sharon Newman told Connor Newman, played by Joshua Mackey, on Young and the Restless that his father missed him while he was away. And that tidbit instantly caught Ray Rosales' attention. He scowls and asks if she has been seeing Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, while his absence. Sharon pledged, of course, to stay away from Adam, following their return from a second honeymoon on Young and the Restless, that is. However, Ray's inability to overcome his envy could lead to issues in their marriage. The recent absence of spark between them was remarked upon by numerous spectators. They appear to be having trouble with chemistry and trust. If Ray Rosales is unable to get past these problems with Sharon, things become dire for them. According to an informant who works at CBS Daytime, Adam will be paired with Sharon Newman around Halloween, coinciding with the start of November sweeps. The plot has enough time between now and then for Ray's fears to continue to consume him. Additionally, he might abandon Sharon. Recall that Ray's first wife had an affair with his brother on Young and the Restless. He is therefore quite aware of these problems. Sharon Newman, however, claims to be devoted to her husband. To be fair though, Ray Rosales has some valid concerns. Sharon has been staring at Adam all the time even though she isn't acting on her urges. However, it will be difficult for the marriage to endure if Ray keeps doubting Sharon's every action. Furthermore, if Sharon Newman is unmarried as a result of Ray Rosales ending their marriage, then she and Adam may be together without any problems. Updates from Young and the Restless suggest that Adam's path to salvation was intended to bring them back together. On Young and the Restless, neither could be held responsible for finding comfort in the embrace of the other. After fabricating an affair, Chelsea set Adam up. He was a helpless victim of the insane scammer. Additionally, Sharon Newman has not gone too far in her marriage to Ray. Therefore, in the eyes of others, Ray Rosales will bear all the blame if things go wrong. What will happen to Ray Rosales if Sharon Newman does reconcile with Adam? Would the attractive detective quit GC? The sole police officer in the community can't be fired, can they? Fans of Young and the Restless, however, saw a potential spark between Ray and Chelsea. Could this unusual couple be developing a romance? Stranger things have happened on Glotty and R, but it would be odd for Ray Rosales to fall in love with the lady who poisoned him. Ray and Chelsea would both be hurt by their ex-boyfriends, and may lean on one another for support if Shaddam were to occur. Ray paid Chelsea frequent visits while she was in the hospital. Ironically, he was able to forgive Chelsea for her scheme to harm him. He therefore has a warm spot for the cunning person. For the time being, Missy Egan has one more plot to pursue Adam before returning to filming after a few months of maternity leave. That means that she hasn't appeared on screen for about 3 months since her last appearance on Gly and R. If his wife's rumored reunion with her ex occurs, that might bring her back shortly after Ray Rosales and Sharon Newman's marriage collapses. Ray Rosales has always considered himself to be the dependable, devoted man who honors his commitments despite the failures of those around him. That has been his strongest suit for a long time. However, it has started to change into something darker, something more corrosive, on the Young and the Restless in recent months. His protective instincts are beginning to change into tension, distrust, and paranoia that might perhaps destroy his marriage to Sharon Newman. Ray's rising uneasiness, his acerbic tone, his protective reactions, and his incapacity to let go of the past are just a few of the subtle behavioral shifts that fans have seen. As she attempts to keep the peace and recover from her own emotional wounds, Sharon is torn between wanting to comfort her husband and feeling suffocated by the ghosts he keeps bringing back to life. According to spoilers, things might be reaching a breaking point. Ray might be the one to ruin the marriage he is working so hard to preserve if he is unable to suppress his escalating doubts. Ray's fears resurface, based on the ashes of heartache, survival, and an unresolved love triangle. Ray and Sharon's marriage was shaky from the beginning. Even though Sharon made an effort to persuade Ray and herself that her relationship with Adam Newman was finished, her complex past with him was never completely resolved. Adam isn't the issue right now, though. It's Ray. His long-buried fears have come back to haunt him. He is ready to allow his past anxieties to guide his present decisions rather than having faith in Sharon's dedication. Ray's suspicions are fueled by every private discussion, late-night text, and slight change in Sharon's attitude. Despite Sharon's insistence that nothing is happening, he is certain that something is being kept from him. Although wonderful, her patience is starting to wear thin. Additionally, Ray starts to doubt her intentions the more she attempts to explain. According to spoilers, control, fear, and unsolved traumas that Ray never really dealt with could be the root causes of his emotional breakdown, rather than just envy. Sharon is feeling overwhelmed. Sharon, who has devoted a significant portion of her life to comprehending the suffering of others, from her own children to her clients, now finds it difficult to use that empathy in her own marriage. She is aware of Ray's pain. She is aware that he feels threatened by aspects of her background that he is powerless to alter. She is unable to comprehend why he is preventing her from breathing, though. Why, in spite of everything, she has given up to keep the peace. He cannot trust her. More than other characters on the show, Sharon has experienced death, betrayal, illness, sorrow, and the ongoing upheaval that comes with her relationship with some of the most complex men in Genoa City. She now has to balance keeping her peace without ending her marriage. According to insiders, Sharon might soon start to doubt her ability to live under constant scrutiny. Additionally, she might come to a point where she prioritizes emotional survival over maintaining the marriage if Ray keeps accusing her and raising suspicions. There's a new catalyst: what causes Ray to lose it? Early spoilers suggest that Adam might not be the one this time. Rather, a miscommunication involving a different man, someone who has a connection to Sharon's job at Crimson Lights, or even a new client in her counseling practice, may be the root of the problem. Ray's anxieties could be aroused by an apparently harmless encounter, making him think that history is being repeated. His obsession grows more intense the more he looks into it. This time, his actions are more related to the fact that Sharon didn't give him the information right away than they are to the person she is speaking to. Even though Sharon had no motive to conceal anything, Ray starts to interpret every omission as a lie. Supporters are aware that Ray is almost impossible to stop on his own once he starts to spiral out of control. Furthermore, that intervention may not occur quickly enough. When love becomes monitoring, the main problem that is developing between Ray and Sharon is trust rather than adultery. Or rather, the absence of it. Ray has started extrapolating facts that aren't there and mistaking typical actions for danger indications. It feels like monitoring today, instead of being a protective concern. Ray's tendency to assume the worst is incomprehensible to Sharon, who values communication and honesty. According to spoilers, Sharon will shortly address Ray about his actions and point out the emotional gap he is causing. However, things could not go as planned during the confrontation. It might increase the tension rather than lessen it, driving Sharon to distance herself emotionally and Ray farther into distrust. Ray's past trauma comes to light. Longtime fans are aware of Ray's past betrayals. Even though they weren't as well known or turbulent as Sharon's, his previous relationships left scars. He demands honesty, order, and openness since he is a man of the law. However, Sharon's life has never been predictable. He fears not just that Sharon may abandon him, but that one day he will discover that she never really let go of Adam, Nick, or the intricate emotional web of her past. However, Ray doesn't see that his incapacity to let go of fears that no longer serve him poses a greater threat to their relationship than another guy. According to spoilers, Ray might soon confide in an unknown person about his anxieties, exposing more profound emotional scars that fans have never completely comprehended. This could be a pivotal event that pushes him farther into illogical choices or brings him back to Sharon with fresh insight. Sharon's limit: despite her patience, Sharon has boundaries. Ray starts to take back her own emotional space as she keeps pushing. She gives her job, her children, and her own health more attention. She gives up trying so hard to comfort Ray since she knows she can't change what he won't talk about. This change is not overlooked. Ray assumes she is ignoring him and interprets it as emotional withdrawal. In actuality, though, Sharon is only attempting to keep her peace. According to spoilers, Sharon might soon experience a profound moment of introspection that compels her to determine if the emotional costs of this marriage are worth it. Walking away would not be unthinkable for a lady who has endured some of Genoa City's most harrowing storylines. A free-falling marriage, even individuals in their immediate vicinity start to sense the intense tension between Ray and Sharon. Nick, Faith, and Maria might notice the stress. Although Sharon makes an effort to hide it, it's clear that she's exhausted. Ray, on the other hand, closes down rather than opens up, becoming more private. The situation is simply made worse by this emotional remoteness. According to spoilers, a big argument is about to happen. One that could reveal years' worth of unsolved problems. Both Ray and Sharon may say things they can't take back, making this interaction very explosive. And that might be the point at which Sharon is forced to leave, depending on how far Ray goes. Will the thing that Ray loves most be destroyed? Ray's intense love for Sharon is the tragedy of this plot. He genuinely feels that his actions are motivated by loyalty and protection. However, suffocating, mistrustful, and doubtful love turns destructive. Ray finds himself at a perilous juncture. He has two options: face his fears and work to keep his marriage intact, or keep going in a direction that would undoubtedly lead to its disintegration. One thing is certain, despite the future being unclear due to spoilers. Ray is closer to losing Sharon than he thinks. He can wind up being the main cause of the marriage's demise if he is unable to quell the demons of distrust. Now, the question is whether Ray will be able to see the harm he is doing before it's too late. One last caution for Ray: Roselle's being the trustworthy man, the moral compass, and the guardian was the foundation of Ray's persona. However, when protectiveness turns into obsession, it becomes dangerous. Sharon has consistently shown compassion, understanding, and patience. Every woman, however, has her breaking point. Ray would soon find himself standing by himself and wondering how he came to be the mastermind behind his own heartbreak if he keeps letting his fears lead him. Viewers are ready for the inevitable moment when Sharon and Ray face their marital situation as the suspense builds and the spoilers grow more sinister. And when that time arrives, Ray could have to confront the most agonizing reality of all.